Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Dave from DLLM Cactus. Have a little DIY video today. I bought a polytunnel greenhouse online. This is from Quictent. It is a 20 foot by 10 foot by 7 foot tall polytunnel. Weighs in, I think, roughly at about 85-90 pounds total with the weight. And we do get a lot of wind here. Even though I'm in my backyard, somewhat protected, I wanted to weigh it down. So I'm going to attach it to 6 4x4 10-foot pieces of lumber here. I got the weight on these at 45 pounds each, so that's about 270 pounds more. So we should have enough weight to kind of hold it in place. But yeah, I'm going to try to get a lot of these cactus and succulent in there. I did like a little makeshift wood shade cloth, little tent last year, and the seedlings grew really well. So I want to kind of emulate that, but a little bit larger scale. I think a lot of the trees, I have like a Santa Rosa plum tree, the jade bush. This one's almost like 5 feet tall. They'll still get plenty of sun in the back and the heat, so I don't think I have to worry about any of the plants in the back here. So I'm just going to put it right on the concrete and run it along backside of my house. Definitely need some shade when it gets hot out. We're sitting at 60 degrees today, so what a day to build. Perfect for me. It is going to be 90 in 7 days, so we're going to go up 30 degrees and it's going to start getting hotter. Once we get to May, it's over 100. So definitely want to get some of these in. I have a lot of other plants, and I have a ton of seedlings inside. I did have this 10 by 6 greenhouse. That's where I do some of the other videos in. I put that up against the west facing wall, so it gets a lot of sun about 6-7 months of the year, and then it shuts down at about 3 o'clock. So I still have some use for that with some smaller plants, but wanted to kind of give some bigger plants and some seedlings some space out here during the growing season. And I really have like a vertical house, so when I did that greenhouse, I wasn't factoring in the way that the sun kind of rotates. Like when we get to November, December, January, February, it kind of wraps around the front of the house. So I have a little issue with sun coming back here. So when I built that greenhouse against the west facing wall, it was springtime, summertime. I was getting sun constantly. So that was the thought process, but always an adaptation though. Definitely just have to kind of work with what I'm given. And I'm going to try to get this polytunnel set up. Have some weather today. Definitely not looking the greatest, but I think this is going to pass pretty quickly. So it's my day off. I have about 6 hours of work that I can do, and I hope to have this all built by then. So we will get the frame kind of set down, get the wood put around, and kind of get the bones of it set up. All right, kind of have the 4x4 10-foot post laid out into the kind of pattern that I need. I'm actually going to start putting together the base frame because I want to make sure that that fits on top of the wood and see if I have to cut any of it down, because lengthwise I might have to cut down by about 2 to 3 inches. So I just want to kind of get the base frame put together so I can mount it on there and kind of see if I have to make any cuts. I might actually take it back another like 6 to 8 inches here into the rocks as well. Anywhere I can get more space away from the house would be better. So I'm going to start working on this base frame. I'll try to film as much of it as I can. A little windier out. I got a tripod set up over there, so we'll see. Just kind of show you the connections, and then I'm going to try to get it set up on the base of the wood to make sure that I have everything measured out right before I attach anything down. Alrighty, trying to set up the base poles here. I can tell the ones that are going to be the width, those I already connected. It's a 10mm socket with Allen on the other side, if anybody needs to know when they're putting this together. But they're definitely going to be a little short on the 10-foot beams. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to take about 1 inch off of each of these, because people will probably say just move this in and then you can have a little notch. But what I actually want to do is I bought these plates to secure them. So to go flush on the side right there, to kind of hold everything in place, I need it to be flush. So I'm going to take about 1 inch off of these. Brought out the compound miter saw, just going to take 1 inch off of each side. And then this is pretty much centered and squared on the width on the other side. And I'm definitely going to be short on this. So I'm probably going to have to take roughly about 5 inches off of this as well. I'm going to measure it out and just make sure I have this base plate. Sorry for the plane noise. Just make sure I have this base plate all set up right before I start installing any more of the poles. So I will cut those down and then we'll just move on to the next step. All right, got this all marked up. I just used a pencil. I'm taking about 1.5 inches off the side beam there. Always be careful with these. There's always the guard on there that kind of keeps the blade away from you. It's got the safety there, but get it kind of lined up along with the blade. It's a little heavier. There we go. I think that 1.5 inches will do it right about there. Perfect. Then always have glasses whenever you do this. Boom, boom, but it'll be quick. Just right through. It's a little bit thicker for the guide. And we are done. 1.5 inches off. I always unplug this when I'm not using it. There we go. Got a coaster for the house. Make like a set of 4 of those. All right, this is going to be one of the corner poles. It's going to be the first one I'm going to try to put together. This is going to be so we can tighten it. We can see the exact dimensions of the base and then make sure we cut the wood accordingly. I cut the side already because I knew what that was, but to get the lengthwise, you need to do this. It's Allen key on one side, and then basically that 10 millimeter socket on the other. Get it tight. The Reese's. Could also starting to move on the backside there though, so might want to grab like a small pliers and then do it a little bit firmer later, but it's tight enough now to where we can measure the base. But that's how the top poles are going to go. They're going to stand through there, and I'll kind of work my way around with it. Definitely another way to do it too. One of the best presents my wife got me, this little Milwaukee, has multiple heads there for the screwdriver for the power set. So I'll just do a wrench on the back. Goes in a lot quicker. Almost too tight. Bend that thing in. But yeah, that'll get it done tight real quick too on that one. And basically, I'm going to go around and finish all these and kind of set the rest of the base. And I showed you some of the plates I was going to connect them with earlier, but the whole goal for getting this centered is because I bought 20 of these, and they're like little half round fasteners. They go 1/2 inch, which is the size of the galvanized steel little pipes here, and then I can screw those down with 2-inch screws halfway through this. So it's just going to be like solid. It's going to be on there. There's not going to be a lot of movement. So just trying to do everything I can to make this as sound as possible. I'm going to keep the polytunnel pretty much open on both doors to let the wind flow through it anyways, but want to make sure that I anchor it down as best I can. Perfect. Starting on the other side now. and definitely easier way to do it. Just kind of like a needle nose pliers, kind of hold it in position, and then that drill bit, if you can get that whatchamacallit, Allen key drill bit, it just goes right in. Just hold it with the needle nose. Boom. You're already locked in. It'll start, you know when it's tight, it'll start bending the pole in. But that takes 2 seconds compared to the other way with the ratchet. All right. Got everything set up, measured out, a lot of sawdust. Ran the whole bottom there along. Got all 20 feet that way, 10 feet across, and likewise all the way down. So now we are going to try to brace this wood bottom. So I got 8 of these plates whenever there's a connection. So I'm going to connect these with 2-inch screws, one on each side here in the middle, and then one on the edge down at the back side here. So the back side, we will put it on here and have, 5 screws on each one. So about 10 screws each. Got a package of 100. So definitely want that to be really firm. So I'm going to connect those around. That's kind of the next step. And then after that, I have 20 of these, like I was saying. Once I get them straightened out, I am going to take the screws and screw those down as well. So this whole base will be completely solid. And then I can start working on building up after that. But my main focus at first is to get everything extremely solid and built in on the bottom. And it'll give me another 4 inches. I might have to step over the wood in the beginning. But when I do that door, it's going to be a 7-foot tall. So now it'll be 7'4". So that'll be good. And then I can debate on if I want to do anything like a little step up or whatnot in. But base is done. Now we just got to, actually not done, but I just have to drill in and get the screws in to kind of make it solid on the foundation. So that's the next step. All right, going to be adding these base plates. Kind of hold these beams together. Mark it where I need to go in. Trying not to strip it. There we go. Just trying to avoid stripping these. It's flathead or Phillips. I was messing around with the flathead instead of just doing it with the thicker Phillips. Much better. This side there. In. Probably be overkill on 4 on each side, but I want this to be as sturdy and connected as possible. There we go. There we go. That's not going anywhere. And then I'm going to add another plate on the back side, just on the middle of this frame. I'm going to do one on each side just to kind of hold it together for sure. All right, got them all set up. Got the corners down like this. Got the little plates on them. Wrap around. Got them all set up. The middle part, like we talked about, has them on both sides. Really sturdy then. They'll move together. Yeah, got them all around the corners there. So just gonna make sure now, gonna kind of put these on, center this, and then we will drill screws in right there to kind of hold the frame in place now that we have the base secure. So let's get a couple screws in here and then we'll go all the way around. Okay, what I was thinking is there's going to be 5 bars going up. If I put one between each of the 5, that would be 4 on this side, 2 on the short ends, and then 4 on the way back. So I'm pretty much going to do that. But then I was thinking, if you look at it, if I put my foot down in the center, if I put them in the center here and I lift, this has got a lot of give to it. Whereas if I put one of those straps right next to the pole, this doesn't even budge. So I'm thinking I'm going to put them right next to the up poles. Try to give it the most bracing right there. So that's going to be the plan. All right, let's get those in. All right. Snaps on. Want it to be right in about the center with the pole center inside. So then we'll just drill a couple of these down. Come on. Boom. These are 2-inch screws, 4-inch wood. So we should be right in the center there. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm lifting as hard as I can there. I can't even lift it. Secure, that gives us the footing right there. And I'm going to put one of each of these on all of the up poles, and then a couple in the center on the short side where the door is. There's doors on each side, which I'm just going to make sure that this is all down to the foundation, and then we can start building up. All right, got all the braces down. I did those one on each up pole that comes across there. Have them all in. On the ends, gets a little trickier because this is a thicker pole for the door sides, but got them down on the thin, and then did 2, one on each side right there. Make sure that we have that down as well, and then all the way across. Every one of them has that little brace, and I mean, they don't, like, you can't, I'm pulling as hard as I can't even budge it. So that goes all the way around there. And then now we can start building upwards. All right, next round. All right, we're going to start with that second row. To build the hoop, you have this one kind of going up to start the hoop up over the top. So that has to fit in place. And then our side brackets come along right along the side there. Got the long screw that'll go through both. Right there. Start your nut on the back to get it in place. And then I have that Allen key adjustment on my drill. So I just hold the back with the screwdriver, with the pliers, and then just drill it in until I see like a small bend. Don't want it to bend too much. There we go. I know it's tight. So that'll be the end. This will end up forming up over the top there, kind of getting that hoop. And then we'll move it along down to this next one. Right there. You connect the next piece. Kind of male, female. And then same thing. Just run that bolt right through. Boom. Lock it in place. Oh, almost forgot. Don't do that. Have to put the hoop in, otherwise we got to take it apart. Hoops in. Next piece. Little plane action going over. Lined up perfectly. There we go. Now we can do it. Start that. Pliers behind. Don't want to strip it. You're good. So now we have those first two done. You have the hoop that's kind of going up over the top. Those are going to connect over to this side. Got both sides done here on the first two. And then what we'll do is we'll put two more of these kind of curved in to connect them. We'll put the bolt through, but we won't secure them on the bottom. We'll just do it to keep them in place because there will be cross beams that go the length of the greenhouse. So just want to kind of get this step done, and then we'll show how to do those cross beams across. For this second round, up on the top here, when you go to the second, right at about eye level, about 5.5 feet, you'll have trouble with the first one kind of getting it lined up and holding the other in place. So basically what you do is this second one, you just get the nut started on the back right there, and it will hold it in place. So all of these are just held in place right there, why I kind of have them lined up. And then I just come with the power drill behind it and the pliers and then tighten them up. Yeah, super easy once you have them in position there. Then just hold on the back with the pliers just to keep it locked up. And then Allen key on the back side. Get it tight. That's it. Move to the next one. Same thing. Just hold in place. Drill them down. Super easy once you just get them lined up. So definitely line up that second one. Once you get the second one in, then you can just walk them right across. Have both done on each side. Just going to get that top one. Same thing. Kind of put that first bolt up there and then get the top lined up. All right, here. I'll just kind of show you what I mean. So when you're starting these pulls across, your thought process is, oh, I'll get the first one and then I'll get it lined up. That doesn't work, because if you go this first one, all the weight is pulling down on it and it's going to go crooked. So just go to the second one. You can kind of hold it in place there. Boom. Get the nut started on the bottom. They actually thread like really hard right there. Boom. Now you're stuck in place. So you have that one to hold it as a guide, and then you just run this one through. Boom. You got both of them threaded, and you can continue all the way down. Super easy. Get on a little chair if you're not tall enough, and then just drill down with the pliers behind. You'll have this done in like 2 minutes. All right, frame is done. Got a lot of eager cacti that are willing to and wanting to get into this polytunnel greenhouse once it gets hot. So, yep, everything's done, tightened up. Sound, like this thing's not moving. Gonna do the top here, the tarp, over probably tomorrow morning. Getting really late. I got to go to work here in a second, but I might try to just dig out about 6 inches here and kind of move it further into the base just to get it as much sun as possible. So that'll be a little task tomorrow. Moving it's going to be fun, but that's all I have left. Yeah, frame is done, and then we'll continue this on in the morning, get the tarp on, get it out so we can get some sun here. All right, got the cover put on it there. So got a lot of these waiting to go in there. Shades over the house right now, but this is the cover. That's who makes the polytunnel tent. There's the Quictent, and you can kind of zip up here. I rolled up the door. You can leave this down or have it zipped up. I'm going to leave the air to go through it because I just don't want the wind to kind of take this thing off. You know, I still have a lot of securing to get it done and secure it on the bottom. But you can just open this one up. This one just kind of runs up here. And it's basically, I think, more to keep like bugs out. And that's real thin material on that one. But have all the windows kind of rolled up on the back there. And then, like I said, I need to staple it down and all that. But this is the inside of it. It's 20 feet, 10 feet across, and then 7 feet tall. And then in the back here, excuse the plane noise, just constant. This is just an example of how big it is. That's a 5-gallon on the spiralis there, the Forbicide. And then this is a tray of 50 rainbow cactus, 48 to be exact, but 48 rainbows in there. And I mean, I just have a massive amount of space now. So sun should be kind of in that growing season here in about 2 weeks. So I'll do a follow-up video in a couple of weeks. This kind of gives me a lot of inspiration, and I'm going to have to do some small builds in here to kind of get things elevated and get as much use out of the space as possible. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Pretty painless putting it together. Still have a little work to do to kind of get it tied down, and then we'll start working on some shelving and get some plants in here. But we will see you on the next video.